Alright, hello! So, welcome to another Warframe builds video. So, today, obviously this is Nekros. He's about to be reworked, and that's why he's getting this video in the first place. Is to kind of show what he does before he gets some very significant changes. And I'll be honest, he doesn't do it very much. Yeah. So, this is his Shield of Shadows build. This is like the no forma variant, obviously. And this build it works technically, but is kind of dog shit and doesn't really accomplish much. You can get to 95% damage resistance with this after killing 18 enemies, and then you have that for a while. But this build really doesn't do anything else. Yeah. And then even with Forma, as compared to a lot of other Warframes, this is really not worth using. I'm going to show it anyway, just for giggles. And yeah, that's what this is. This is like kind of like a basic Shield of Shadows build. Hopefully, this is the one that I'm hoping gets significantly better with the changes with Nekros. And then the other build is Lootslave. This is using Despoil, Natural Talent, Efficiency, and then maximum range and more health because you're using your health as energy, as it were, and rejuvenation for obvious reasons. This is just to spam the shit out of 3, get your macros or your arthritis medication ready. If you're going to use this and go farm things. Actually, you're not going to farm things. You're going to press 3. Everyone else is going to be farming things. Your job is to press 3 to do monkey see, monkey do. Do it. Yeah. This build is fucking terrible. It's not terrible, like, in terms of usefulness. It's terrible in terms of I don't understand the type of person that can have fun playing this build. Although I guess, whatever. If you just like being useful and that's all you care about, maybe you're into that. This one is basically getting removed or made more interactive with actually playing the video game, which is going to be great. Hopefully it'll be fucking fantastic. But let's go into Shield of Shadows. So this has obviously like a build-up to it, where you want 18 enemies, and then you kind of constantly want to be re-rolling that and be like, all right, Shield of Shadows, and another Shield of Shadows, and one more Shield of Shadows. And that's kind of what you want to do. So this build is not very well suited to this test that I normally do, because obviously there's no lead up to this test. This test just starts and there's level 80 fucking enemies there. So Nekros' regular thing is, oh well, you just need to get good for about like 7 enemies and blast their faces with this Vacor hack, and then summon some dudes, and then you'll be fine and you'll wipe them because you have a Vacor hack. And that's fine. But to make this like more realistic to what would actually be happening, I'm going to spawn some enemies in and just murder the shit out of them so that I can actually kind of show what the fuck this build is actually supposed to do. So we're going to take out the heavies, just have like some regular fucking units, just some normal guys. And I'm not going to go all the way up to 18. It's like a normal batch of dudes. Super easy to kill. Oh yeah, I forgot. Different spawn scenarios, so those guys are actually up there. Because usually, like, in a mission, you're gonna have killed some fodder first. Like, in 99% of scenarios, I would say. Before you get to any, like, actual groups of enemies that would be dangerous to you. Although these enemies are actually dangerous to Necros because he is, like, pitifully armored and has, like, no health, essentially. But yeah, grab some of those dudes, top ourselves back off, and then let's refill this and summon those guys in. Because obviously, it's not reasonable for Necros to be out of shadows. That does not happen very often, because there's usually swarms on swarms of dudes. So here we go. And you'll notice one thing about this 4, it takes forever to cast. It's not done casting until the lines hit me. And then once the lines have hit me, this is actually great. I feel like this is a lot more dudes than I actually killed. But yeah, with these lines connected to me, each line that's connected connected to me is giving me 6% damage reduction. So I'm actually pretty hard to kill when I'm like this. Obviously, I still want to kill the bombards, and I'll lose 6% anytime any of these guys dies. But these guys provide, like, a reasonable distraction so that I can just blast motherfuckers. Obviously, they enable me to kill more people to add kind of back into this. There's 2 seconds till it's over. I have to resummon guys. And this is relatively expensive with this build, obviously, but usually it pays for itself, because obviously there are normally more enemies than this who are dropping energy. Yeah, this is similar in terms of like reducing your damage to kind of like Mirage's 1, kind of. Your threat will still shoot way up whenever you do heavy damage to enemies, like it did there. You saw the Corrupted Heavy Gunner turn on a fucking dime. To get at me, which is pretty normal. But yeah, generally this is kind of how this goes. In like actual gameplay, you'll pretty much always have shadows. But as you can see, aside from having these shadows and getting the damage reduction, this build really doesn't do anything. My 1 is like basically completely useless, and because this build doesn't have very much range, and even if I added stretch, then like this has pitiful, terrible range. Even though like at this strength / duration, it's actually not bad at all. It's just the range of that ability at base is just not very good. And then obviously with low range, you're not going to want to use Desecrate unless you have max efficiency. This build does not, because you're using Blind Rage. So basically, this build just like goes all in on Shield of Shadows, which like this ability is really cool because like having AI partners is fun, but it's not particularly useful. I have a feeling that Necros will be much better at having those guys around him at all times, because there will be no duration on his shadows whenever he does change. So this is less of a build video, honestly, than would normally arise, because this is more to show what Necros was like before his changes. Expect another one of these after his changes, because I suspect he will be very, very good once he's changed. Maybe with the exception of Soul Punch. But maybe they've done something to that I haven't realized yet. But yeah, that's Necros, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.